This is Mac OS Ken.
Apple's calling people back to the office. The company solicits donations to aid Ukraine and hints around Tuesday's peak performance event. It is Monday, the 7th of March, 2022. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Headspace. Meditation made simple. Get a free 1-month trial at headspace.com/macosken. This show is also sponsored by New Relic, helping you monitor, debug, and improve your entire stack. If you're a software engineer, you may dread any call that comes outside of work hours, because anyone could be the one saying that something is broken, leading to more calls and still more calls and logging into a ton of tools, all to look for who knows what. That will not happen with New Relic. New Relic combines 16 different monitoring products that you would normally buy separately, so engineering teams can see across their entire software stack in one place. New Relic monitors the status of your software from inside. It looks for anomalous activity and pings you so you can catch problems before end users do. That's why the developer and ops teams at DoorDash, GitHub, Atlassian, and more than 14,000 other companies use New Relic to debug and improve their software. The next after-work call is just waiting to happen. Get New Relic before it does. And you can get access to the whole New Relic platform and 100 gigabytes of data free forever, no credit card required. Sign up at newrelic.com/macosken. NEWRELIC. That's newrelic.com/macosken. newrelic.com/macosken. The other shoe has dropped in Cupertino after reports last week of Google calling employees back to the office and Twitter opening its offices, though not forcing people to return. Apple has decided it is time for employees to head back to the park, albeit slowly. A piece from Engadget says Apple CEO Tim Cook sent an email to Apple workers on Friday, offering encouraging words and laying out a return schedule. On the encouragement side, the CEO said, in the coming weeks and months, we have an opportunity to combine the best of what we have learned about working remotely with the irreplaceable benefits of in-person collaboration. It is as important as ever that we support each other through this transition, through the challenges we face as a team, and around the world. As for when who has to be where, the piece says employees need to be back at their desks at least 1 day a week, beginning the week of the 11th of April. That needs to be up to 2 days a week by the week of the 2nd of May. By the 23rd of May, the piece says they'll have to work from the office at least on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, amid a shift to a hybrid working model. Since Apple's move from the iTunes Store model to separate apps for various services, plus an emphasis on subscription services like Apple Music and Apple Arcade, I have often wondered how charitable giving from Apple customers has been affected. In the past, news of earthquakes, typhoons, and tsunamis would be followed quickly by news of links to donate to the associated relief efforts through the ITMS. If the cause is big enough, it seems, such efforts return. A piece from Mac Rumors says Apple is making it easier for customers to donate to the ongoing crisis in Ukraine through UNICEF by adding a banner on top of its website that directs users to an iTunes page that allows them to donate up to $200 using their Apple ID payment method. Maybe Mac Rumors was just on it early, or maybe the site didn't check, but the banner at the top of the Apple.com site is all over the Cupertino company's services. I spotted banners on the App Store, the Mac App Store, in the Apple TV app, on Apple News Plus, and on Apple Music. Each links to a page in the Music app on a given device that says, "Support families affected by the crisis in Ukraine." Click or tap the amount you wish to contribute, then click Donate, and Apple will transfer 100% of your contribution to UNICEF USA in support of families affected by the crisis in Ukraine. Denominations available include $5, $10, $25, $50, $100, and $200. Apple helping customers donate goes hand in hand with the help Apple is giving its own employees in donations. Last week, Apple CEO Tim Cook messaged employees addressing the ongoing crisis in Ukraine. Among the messages, that Apple had stopped sales of its hardware in Russia in response to its attack on Ukraine, and that Apple would be doubling donations made by employees to eligible organizations aiding in humanitarian relief efforts. While Apple has stopped sales of its hardware in Russia, it is far from the only entity suspending operations in protest of the country's aggression. In addition to Apple, a piece from CNET lists a number of companies that have curtailed or cut off business with Russia and Belarus, which has aided Russia in its invasion of Ukraine. Companies listed by CNET include the automakers BMW, Ford, GM, and Honda. There's Disney, Electronic Arts, Google. The search part still works, though ad sales have been stopped. Intel, Microsoft, Netflix. That started with a limiting of services before suspending business entirely, according to a piece from Engadget. Nintendo's out, Paramount, Samsung, Snapchat. Not unlike Google, the app is live, but ad sales in Belarus and Russia are off. Sony is taking a weird tack. New film releases are canceled, though, at least over the weekend, PlayStation sales were still live, and the studios Universal and Warner Brothers have canceled upcoming releases. Additionally, a piece from Engadget says TikTok has suspended new video uploads and live streaming in Russia. The piece says that that's in response to Russia's recently enacted fake news law, which threatens up to 15 years in jail for individuals accused of spreading misinformation about its military and or government. Meanwhile, another piece from Engadget says Activision Blizzard and Epic paused game sales in Russia, though it's unclear whether the in-game purchases that power Fortnite continue. And finally, though not finally, I'm sure, moves from Airbnb are both impressive and kind of convoluted. According to CNET, the room rental service Airbnb has suspended all operations in Russia and Belarus and has said its nonprofit subsidiary will offer free temporary housing to 100,000 Ukrainian refugees. It's also waived host and guest fees for bookings in Ukraine as people worldwide use Airbnb as a way to provide income directly to Ukrainians by, as The Guardian put it, paying but not staying. A little over a week ago, the Deputy Prime Minister of Ukraine called on Apple to close the App Store in Russia. The stated thinking was that such an action might get younger and more connected Russians to lean on the government to end the Ukraine invasion. Today, a story to support Apple's decision to leave the App Store on. A piece from 9 to 5 Mac says Russian citizens are snapping up VPN apps. This as internet censorship in Russia ramps up. As reported by analyst firm AppFigure, says the report, the number of VPN app downloads in Russia has grown considerably since the conflict began on the 24th of February. As of last Tuesday, the most popular VPN apps have seen an increase of over 12,000% in the number of downloads in both the App Store and Google Play in Russia. More news in a moment, but first a word from Headspace. Meditation made simple. How are you today, really? Most people say fine without really considering the answer, but really think about it. If you're feeling hyper, tired, annoyed, or just, it's time to connect with your feelings with Headspace. Headspace is scientifically proven to help you manage your feelings and your mental health. In fact, a recent study showed Headspace reducing stress by 14% after just 2 weeks. Whether you want to relieve stress and anxiety, sleep better, or improve your focus, the everyday dose of mindfulness that is Headspace can help. For a long time, I thought stress and anxiety were just the way it was. Like, that's life. Headspace helped me change that mindset. See what it can do for you. However you're feeling, try Headspace at headspace.com/macOSKen and get 1 month free of their entire mindfulness library. This is the best Headspace offer available, so go to headspace.com/macOSKen today. headspace.com/macOSKen. More signs of a 5G iPhone SE3 during Tuesday's peak performance event. Apple sent an announcement midweek last week confirming a long-rumored product event for Tuesday, the 8th of March. Products anticipated/expected include something new for the Mac line, an updated iPad Air, and the aforementioned iPhone SE update. Now TF International analyst Ming-Chi is fanning the flame on that last one. Mac Rumors had young MC hitting Twitter on Friday, offering some predictions for the coming new iPhone SE. The tweet calls for mass production of the device to begin this month, estimated shipments of 25 million to 30 million units this year, storage capacities of 64, 128, and 256 gigabytes, A15 and 5G support, millimeter wave and sub-6 gigahertz, he says. Casings will come in white, black, or red, and they'll have a similar form factor to the current iPhone SE. That 256 gigabyte option would be new, according to Mac Rumors, as would 5G support, obviously. The piece points out that camera upgrades are noticeably absent from Kuo's expectations. Then again, just because he didn't say something doesn't mean that thing's not happening. Speaking of maybes, how about one for the Mac side? Bloomberg's Mark Gurman has one from his Power On newsletter. Well, anyway, he hints that there might be one. Citing a secret so-and-so, Gurman says he's heard that Apple has been testing multiple Macs with a new chip in recent weeks that includes an 8-core CPU, 4 efficiency cores and 4 high-performance cores, and 10 GPU cores. Those are exactly the specifications of the M2 chip he detailed last year, according to Gurman. Apple has been testing this new chip on machines running macOS 12.3, which should be released in the next week or two and run on the new Macs, and the future macOS 12.4, so says the Power On newsletter. Now, he's not saying that there will be an M2 processor announced tomorrow, but he does seem to be leaving that door open. If you're hung up on the event announcement's play on words, Gurman does have thoughts on that as well. Featured prominently on the announcement are the words peak performance. While that term spoken would sound like speaking of the height of performance, the spelling, P-E-E-K, implies getting a short look or a first look at something we haven't seen before. The way Gurman sees that could refer to a preview of the long-in-the-works iMac Pro or Mac Pro with variations of the M1 Pro and M1 Max chips. Could also refer to a next-generation external display that he's heard Apple actually wrapped work on months ago. Apple's first big event of the year is only a day away at this point. The Cupertino crew goes into peak performance on Tuesday, the 8th of March at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. The event will be streamed on Apple's events site. That is apple.com/events. It'll also be streamed on YouTube. It should be made available as a podcast later in the day. We will do highlights and reaction right here on Wednesday. Apple didn't get everything it wanted from last Friday's shareholders meeting, though Tim Cook's getting paid, yo. Apple Insider says despite protests from an advisory group and an oil fund that owns 1% of the planet, and that is only a slight exaggeration, shareholders voted in favor of Apple CEO Tim Cook's $99 million compensation package per the advice of Apple's board of directors. As mentioned before, the board got almost everything it wanted, with one glaring exception. According to the report, Apple shareholders have approved a proposal urging the company to carry out a third-party civil rights audit, contrary to the board's wishes. The piece says the proposal claims that a civil rights audit could flag concerns raised by Apple employees and help the iPhone maker identify, remedy, and avoid adverse impacts to its stakeholders. Apple's board had argued against the proposal, saying, "We believe our current framework for the implementation and oversight of our human rights commitments is more effective than the broad and unfocused audit requested by the proposal." Apple Insider says the approval of the proposal marks the first time in Apple's recent history that shareholders have voted for a shareholder-issued proposal. Other shareholder proposals, including ones aimed at increasing supply chain transparency and addressing gender and racial pay gaps, failed during Friday's meeting. Apple TV Plus has lengthened its deal with multifaceted creative Jonathan Tropper. Deadline says the second season EP and showrunner for the dystopian series C has extended his overall deal for another 3 years. That'll see him continue his work on C, as well as developing TV projects exclusively for Apple's streaming service. TV, not movies, which he also has a hand in. He wrote the screenplay for The Adam Project, the Ryan Reynolds, Zoe Saldana, Mark Ruffalo, Jennifer Garner film directed by Sean Levy hits Netflix this Friday. He also wrote the screenplay for the films Kodachrome and This Is Where I Leave You. That last one was based on, hey, what do you know, based on the best-selling novel of the same name by Jonathan Tropper. It's one of Tropper's 6 best-selling novels that have been translated into over 30 languages, according to Deadline. And finally today, Apple TV Plus is headed back to Mexico. The Cupertino streamer issued a press release Friday saying it has ordered a sophomore season for the bilingual comedy Acapulco. According to the company, Acapulco tells the story of 20-something Maximo Gallardo, played by Enrique Arazón, whose dream comes true when he gets the job of a lifetime as a cabana boy at the hottest resort in Acapulco. Season 2 picks up right on the heels of Season 1. The release says more about that, but I will not because, spoilers, the series spans a few decades. It has a modern-day Maximo, played by Eugenio Derbez, telling the story of his younger days at the Acapulco resort in the mid-1980s. While there is no word on when Season 2 will debut, the whole of Season 1 is available to stream now on Apple TV+. You can also catch a trailer, go behind the scenes, and check out an interview with both of the show's Maximos on YouTube. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by New Relic, helping you monitor, debug, and improve your entire stack. Learn more and get started at newrelic.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Headspace, meditation made simple. Get a free 1-month trial at headspace.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. info@macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Cha.